Welcome virtual viewers, you've just clicked into SunSoda TV on the web here in the static dimension. I'm AKB, and I'm here with my co-host, Haj. Today, we're chatting with an artist who reached out to me on a DIY music scene forum that I've come to frequent. The artist's name is CARSON DANIEL. He's an alternative rock musician, a multi-instrumentalist, a spirited songwriter, and all-around lovely person. He lives just east of Tacoma, Washington, and I was fortunate enough for the opportunity to meet with him to talk to him about his art and his future goals for the project. Here's what he had to say.
The true grit of country and blues, some alternative thrown in there as well. There are cool synth sounds too, vintage of course. The spirit of rock and roll lives on in his music. Long live post-punk, new wave, noise, dance, and god damn, he can play the blues.
Carson, thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate you coming out. I actually thought you were going to end up with a super big commute today, but I'm glad that you were in the area. You're based not too far from here, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Just down south, Milton.
Down south of Milton?
We say Seattle.
Yeah. Were you born and raised Washington?
Yes.
Yeah, nice. So in October, you released a full-length LP. That was on Halloween, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was just ready by then. It was a Thursday, comes on Friday. So why not?
Yeah, why not? The title of the LP is culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant.
Yes.
Does this title have a specific meaning for you? Is it more of just a manifestation?
Yeah, I mean, the album itself is kind of just, I mean, it's my first release. It's me exploring kind of my place as an artist. Or I guess if the album's about anything, it's about like how an artist finds themselves into it. Like everything's so oversaturated. Like what place is there for another artist? And, I mean, that title is pulled from what the Smithsonian uses. That's their rubric for putting things into like, you know,
Ahead of the pile.
bomb-proof storage.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Like the recordings that get shot into space and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
So I thought, like, how does somebody starting from scratch, how are they even going to get that? Yeah.
The art on the cover is fantastic, I will say. You also made a promo flyer that features similar artwork. I'm assuming these are your works?
Yes.
Yeah, they're awesome. They have kind of a Daniel Johnston flavor to them, in my opinion. Yeah. This album is the only bit of released material I could find under the Carson Daniel name. Have you been writing and composing music for long?
Yeah, I'd say probably about 5 years. But like most artists, I think it's only been viable for the past, year and a half, and then kind of pulling the best work and releasing it. But yeah, I mean, I've been playing music my whole life, band.
Performing mostly.
Yes.
Do you have more experience performing live than composing? Was that something that you came into later?
Well, I went to school as a music student and kind of, did that, but that's really different from what I'm doing now. I have performance experience, but it's different. Yeah. I had my first show with my band this past Sunday at James Tavern. Loved doing it. And we had a great time. And it's just different, rock music is rock.
Yeah, it's different from what you would actually study to learn.
Exactly.
But I'm sure that education helps.
Totally.
Your album is packed to the brim with sonic variation. Lots of solid guitar work, piano, all kinds of different percussions. Did you collaborate on the instrumentation, or was that all you from scratch?
That's me in my studio apartment.
Nice. Impressive.
Thank you.
So sonically it's diverse, but it's also very energetic and high octane in places. I hear a lot of broad influences from Pavement to White Stripes, Dino Jr. to Fire Hose. That's a great one. Leaders from Venus also.
Okay. That's great. No one's giving me that one. That's good to hear.
Yes. There's even some new wave that I hear. There's a lot of new influence. Were you listening to any particular records while putting this together? Was this something?
That's a good question. I mean, while I was writing this, I had a job at a record store.
Oh yeah,
So
well, that helps.
that lends itself to kind of obsessive listening in a way, like just like being inundated with sounds and inspirations. And it kind of comes out as a collage or montage. I was really into LCD Sound System.
Yeah.
I mean, saw them last year. That kind of stuck around. And
Did you want to name drop that record store?
oh, Easy Street Records. Acknowledge the
Yeah.
I'm not gonna film her.
Also, you're over there.
We can move it now if you want, or you can finish the question.
yeah, I think this is great. You know, there were certain songs that actually like I conceived of in a different genre. First, like Sharon was almost like a grungy, like really guitar-driven song. It just wasn't working. So I redid it. I tried it like a few different ways. I tried it with like organ and accordion, like this really reedy arrangement. And then kind of at the last minute, I'm like, I just want to do it, you know, like B specifically, like that guitar line just kind of fit, you know. So I'm like, I love this kind of music, so I can make it.
Try things out.
Yeah, it's like that's the postmodern way.
Is there an instrument that you, when writing songs, do you have an instrument that you start with? Is it always piano, or does it depend?
It's never piano. I always write on guitar because it's easier to get. Or I'll get ideas just in my skull and put them out. Usually on guitar. Just because pianos, I almost know too much, so it's hard to make it organic.
So when you started recording for this album, did you have a goal or concept in mind, or did it just sort of fall together with track by track?
Yeah, I had the title, and I had a general frustration with how to present myself as an artist, kind of wanting to present myself as an artist, but not knowing how to do that, and not knowing how to do it in a way that I wouldn't hate. You know? So yeah, I really locked down the first two tracks and embraced kind of the irony and self-referential parts of the songs, and then went from there. It's like kind of getting the context out of the way, introducing myself, and setting the theme to the album up.
So the recording quality on these is fantastic, and you mentioned earlier that it was home studio. My question was going to be, did you have any engineers or anything, or was it all straight up?
No.
Yeah, it's all just home studio.
Yeah, I had the album mastered kind of after the fact, so the version you're hearing is probably the mastered version. But initially, like October 31st, I just put it out unmastered.
Yeah.
But I wanted a vinyl press and it needed to be mastered for that. So.
Did you replace like the Bandcamp files after it was
Yes,
mastered?
yeah. I've tried to track down everything and replace them. That happened around Christmas. But yeah, besides getting it mastered for vinyl, it's just me being really obsessive about the sound quality.
So the album, again, is culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant, and that's available on all streaming platforms?
Yes.
Okay. It's also on your Bandcamp page for purchase on CD and as a limited 12-inch record.
Yes.
Right. Have you had any difficulty getting it pressed to vinyl?
No. Found this great pressing plant. I had never done anything like that, so it took a lot of research. But, you know, in a big way, the album is kind of meant for vinyl. It's 10 songs, about 22 minutes per side. So, I can't say I didn't plan it like that.
It kind of fits in the standard 12-inch format.
Really excited for it to be on vinyl and for people to hear it on vinyl, because hearing the test press made me happy.
Oh yeah. Want to name drop the service you used, or is that
it's Got a Groove Records out of Columbus, Ohio. Nice. They're wonderful.
That's where I was born.
All right,
Yeah.
Columbus. And my mastering engineer, he's credited on the back of the record, Dave Polster. He's amazing. Yeah.
If I send you a wad of cash, can you make me a cassette tape?
That's the big thing now, isn't it? Yeah.
Tape.
I thought about it, but like personally, I collect vinyl and I have some CDs, but I don't want to get into tapes and then just have them all disintegrate on me over the next few decades. I do DVDs and stuff like that, but I won't do VHS because I don't want all the colors to start leaking.
It'll just degrade over time. Yeah, for sure.
But you know, I encourage everybody to burn their own cassettes.
Awesome. Good. I'm glad I got the clearance for that.
Yeah.
I'll make my own too.
And it's easy. You just need printer paper for the album cover.
Print it's black and white too.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah. I noticed there are no lyrics printed online for the tracks on this album that I could find. Will that be included with the physical copy?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was cost prohibitive.
Cost prohibitive.
Yeah, to add a lyric sheet. But I did try to add them. I don't know what you're listening on, but
I checked Bandcamp and Spotify. They both have no lyrics on them.
No lyrics.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah.
Now it's a mystery.
Strange, yeah. Do you have any shows coming up?
Yes. I have in April. There's 4. Olympia, April 5th. Tacoma, April 10th. West Seattle on the 17th of April at Skylark, and then Chop Suey here April 23rd. Super excited about those. Still finalizing some of the bills, but really excited to get out. I really just want to play as many shows as I can within reason. You know, a year from now it'd be great to have another piece of some kind of music out, because I don't want to be promoting something that's 2 years old.
Who are Donald Passman and John Hammond? And are we as listeners allowed to know who they are? Or is it part of the mythos around the album?
Donald Passman is a music lawyer in LA.
Nice.
He is the author of the popular music business book, All You Need to Know About the Music Business, which I had to read for school. Yeah, so when I was thinking about who to name Jeff Kennett's song about being an upcoming musician, like he came up, and then John Hammond was a super legendary A&R guy who signed Bob Dylan and Billie Holiday, and like, I don't think he's gonna get the message because I think he's long dead. But
well, I'm super glad you hit me up because I love your music. You've gained a fan for life.
Thank you.
The album's been a staple on my driving playlist since I've heard it. It's a great driving music. It's actually good road music for sure.
Yeah.
I plan on spreading around as much as I can. And thank you so much.
Here, I got
for being on the show.
Little gift.
Hey! Hell
CD.
Yeah! Brilliant.
So these were I
like
thrifted the cases.
Nice.
From
That's
the
DIY.
store, so I left a promo sticker on it.
That's hella DIY. I love it. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for being on this. Thanks for coming out. Carson's music can be heard on all streaming platforms. It's also downloadable on his Bandcamp page and has merch available on there as well as on his website. I'd like to thank Quail for helping me film and record this episode on site in Seattle. You're watching SunSoda TV on the web here in the static dimension. Subscribe to stay up to date on the latest episodes. If you're interested in setting something up or just want to reach out, you can send an email to the address on your screen or drop a DM on the channel or wherever else you can find us. Gotcha, niggas!